Shalom, family. It's good to see you all here. You know, there have been some interesting things over the last 24 hours. Now, people were talking about how the Israelis are fleeing after the attack on them by Iran. Well, they're now, I got to show this to you. They're now coming and saying that the pictures are not real. It's not them fleeing at all. It is Argentina. Those pictures are not them. The pictures are Argentina. Okay, so now I guess people reporting on these things don't know the difference between Israel and Argentina. This is the claim they're making. All right, let me show that to you. All right. and this just came out, y'all. Now they're denying that anybody is fleeing. It's not them, it's Argentina. So, but I want to show you some previous stories prior to this to show you that they have fled when conflict broke out. So, let me stop sharing. I got something else I want to show you. Okay. All right. Let me share this. All right. Y'all see this? Okay. Fight Hamas or flight. The Israelis fleeing the country during the war. So, where did they go? They went from Israel to Rome. Some of them went to Rome. Some of them went to Cyprus, and some went to Greece. Could it be that you went to those locations because that's really where you're from? Could that be the case? This is where you really truly are from. I'm just saying, you know. Now, they fled during, and we know the Israel Hamas war is still going on, and they fled during that. But now you're trying to say it's not you fleeing, it's Argentina, which is in a whole different part of the planet. All right, I got another one to show you. Okay. All right. So, Israel Hamas war, some Israelis fled to Hungary. Oh, you went to Hungary? Is it because that's really where you're from? This is really your home? This is your real home right here, Hungary. And not only that, y'all, there's another one that said many of them fled to the Netherlands. Let me see if I can pull that one up for you. Here we go. So many of them left and fled to the Netherlands. Oh, those are all European locations. All of those are your Hungary, Greece. Okay. These are all places in Europe. And it seems to me that you're going back to your place of origin. That's where you're fleeing to. So this one is really fleeing to the Netherlands. But all of a sudden, when people are coming out with the stories saying that they're fleeing after the Iranian attack, no, no, that's not them fleeing, that's Argentina. But we see all of these previous articles that show that you did flee. Okay, I'm just saying. But now you're holding tight. Nobody is fleeing. I don't believe that. I don't believe that for 1 second. All right. Okay. So this is Argentina. This is not you, but everything looks Israeli in the background. But no, this is Argentina. Ladies and gentlemen, these folks are a trip. If you think you're going to get the truth out of Gentiles, you got another thought coming. We never got the truth out of them at all. And it is so many things going on since the eclipse. I got something else that I want to show. I thought about doing a video on it, but I think I'm going to go live a little later with it so you can see something else very significant that happened after the eclipse. And it's something that's going on over in Europe. And I'm going to bring that out to you a little later on today, maybe like around 5, 6 o'clock. I'll come online with that. So just be on the lookout. So tensions are definitely escalating. I looked at some of the latest stories. Israel is planning to strike back at Iran, so everybody is on edge. And Iran has just came out and said if Israel strike on them, they're going to come even harder on Israel. So this is a very different kind of enemy. All right. This is not like the Palestinians that really don't have a military, really don't have much defense to fight with. You know, this is Iran, a place that got nukes, and they got an air force, and they got a military, their actual own military and everything. So it's a different kind of enemy. You know, this is not the rock throwing Palestinians. Okay, it's not them. So I think they're trying to proceed with caution, but at the same time, they know they have to retaliate. They know they have to respond some kind of way. Now, Joe Biden has ticked many of them off because he advised um, Israel not to respond, not to do anything, to let it go. Now, I did see over the last few days they have placed sanctions on Iran, which I was expecting them to do, you know, and but Israel is not showing any signs of backing down. They look like, I don't know if it's going to be in the coming week, but it does look like they are going to respond to Iran. Now, if you have not kept up with this, the whole thing started when Israel bombed uh, Iran's embassy over in Syria, and two generals were killed, and some of their military personnel were also killed in that strike. And that's how this all started. So then over the weekend, you had Iran that fired missiles at them. And at first, they tried to pretend like hardly none of the missiles made it into Israel. They were able to intercept them. 99% is what they were putting out there. And like I said, y'all, beware of the media in America. The media in America is filled with a lot of biases. They are filled with a lot of racism, and they don't believe in giving you the news straight. They believe in giving their opinion on what's happening. All right. Instead of just reporting the news. This is why I'm not big when big events happen. I don't like turning to American news. I would rather look at a foreign source. And a lot of times, the foreign source will have people on the ground, and you can actually see what's going on in there. Where here in America, they just get in front of a camera and just do a bunch of jaw jacking. Okay. That's all they do. The Pharaohess, thank you so much for the super chat. Love you, family. Great job, Lisa. Thank you. Thank you very much. So, so then they admitted some locations in Israel got hit. Okay, then that's not 99%. So just know you're not going to get the full truth at all. And you got to look at who's running everything as far as the media is concerned. And that is a big reason why you're never going to get the truth. It was a defining moment during the Ukraine Russia war, and they kept coming on for months. Ukraine is winning. Ukraine is winning. Ukraine is winning. And then I think it was like a few months later, come to find out Ukraine's almost their whole army was wiped out. And they're still sitting on TV talking about Ukraine is winning, Ukraine is winning. And plus, it was just too many signs that they weren't winning. You had the president, Zelensky, always begging, I need this, I need more aid, I need more equipment, I need send this, send that. Okay, that don't sound like somebody that's winning. All right. That don't sound like no winner. When have you ever seen someone win and the person that won is whining and begging? No, winners don't do that. Okay? Winners do not whine and beg, and that man has not stopped whining and begging since everything fell apart over there. That's not a winner. I know what a winner looks like, and that's not a winner. And then I was reading, he's in fear when Trump gets into, if Trump happens to win, he's in fear that Trump will have the aid cut off from them. Well, everybody is not for all the aid they have been getting. They're not. And America has depleted a lot of their military weapons because of all that aid going over there. Lamont J. Williams, thank you for the super sticker. Hmm. No, that's how you know they're not winning. If Ukraine was winning, Dana Marie, they would have it out there all the time. You notice, yeah, I do notice how a lot of the Ukrainian Russia news have dropped off of the radar. If they really truly were winning, there ain't no way America would not seize the opportunity to be talking about it. And that right there is another indication there's no way they're winning. And this place is going completely silent about the war. The only thing they're not going silent over is aid. I saw another article first thing this morning on how they're getting ready to send more military aid, not only for Israel, but for Ukraine. I did see that this morning. And I'm not surprised about that at all. You know, it's funny how some of the articles are talking about how Biden and Netanyahu don't see eye to eye, you know, especially things like ceasefire and stuff like that. But I tell you what, no matter how much they oppose each other, you don't hear anything about Biden pulling back on all that aid, do you? He can overlook any disagreement they're having and still push aid over there, billions and billions of dollars of aid. So, I don't even know why y'all putting those stories out for real. Nobody cares about that. At the end of the day, America know they are still going to send all kinds of aid over there. Now, let's talk about the Bible. Now, whenever there were wars that occurred in the Bible, the Israelites, our people, got direct help from the Most High. We could be the smallest army up against a huge army, and he would have it. We would, win, or the military would turn on each other, or they would just see the Israelites and flee. They would run at the sight of the Israelite men ready to fight in a war with them. They would retrieve. I mean, you can see those stories all throughout the Bible. But look at what's happening. They have been fighting Hamas since what, October 7th? That's when the attack during Sukkot, that's when they were attacked over there. And do you hear about Hamas fleeing? And look at Iran. Iran is telling them, you strike on us, we're going to come back even harder on you. Does that sound like they are fleeing like they did in the Bible? No, nothing is really adding up to what we saw in the Bible. Now, when Iran struck them, we know it was after the eclipse, but it was also around the time of their Passover. And many people were geared up to fly over to Israel to do Passover. And a lot of those flights were canceled. Now, of course, they can, if they're over in Europe, which many of them are, they can still do their Passover as well as here in the United States or Canada. They can still do it, but they wanted to go in what they called their holy land to celebrate their Passover, and that was disrupted by Iran. Now, also in the Bible, they got all of their, the Israelites got all of their help from the Most High. Where does it say in the final days the Israelites would get help from other nations? Where does it say? Because it was only the Heavenly Father helping Israel. So, where does it say that other nations, and on top of that, Gentile nations? America is a Gentile nation, is ran by Gentiles. Gentile nations would come to the aid of Israel. Exactly. The Most High is showing us each and every day. Those of us that know what's going on, we know what we're looking at, and we know what we're looking at don't match up with the biblical text. We know it don't match up. You know, there is nowhere where the Most High say, I'm going to step back and let other nations help you. It doesn't say that anywhere. But yes, there are still many that are blind and can't see. There are many that are blind and can't see exactly what's in front of them. But no, it's not adding up. And I think many people do see it, and it's being questioned. I notice, like over the last couple of days, especially on TikTok, a lot of them are making videos now saying that they know they don't have any Israelite bloodline. Some of them outside of Israel are doing DNA tests, and it's coming back that they're from places over in Europe, but none are coming up with an Israelite bloodline. And you can go over there and watch the videos. They are doing they're putting it on video. So, I'm just letting you know they are putting it on video that they know that they are not the people. And it's not folks like me saying it, it's folks like them folks saying it. Remember, you can't take a DNA test if you're in Israel. So a lot of these people are doing the DNA test outside of Israel, and it's coming back with no bloodline other than European, but nothing making them the actual Israelites of the Bible. So remember, in the final days, people are going to confess the truth. And that's exactly what we are seeing. We're seeing them confess the truth. No, there's never been peace over there. Since they've been in that land, there has never been 1 ounce of peace in that region. And you're in a land surrounded by enemies. I mean, why would the Most High put you in a land surrounded by enemies? Okay, that's another thing. You're in a land surrounded by enemies, and it don't look very blessed to me. Look at how tiny that country is. So you are chosen people, and he gave you that little speck of a land over there. Come on. And I would think that the Most High would go big and grand for his people. You know what I mean? You would have not only that land, but several other land masses. He would go big for his people. Why is he going so small for these folks? That land ain't very big at all. It's not prime land either, especially when you compare it to other land in the world. So he gave you a little speck of a land and he put a bunch of enemies all around you. But we're supposed to see that as a blessing. And no, that don't look very blessed. It's always turmoil over there. In fact, there's probably more fighting in that region than anywhere else in the world. And that is the truth. When you go back even 30, 40 years, it's more fighting in that region than anywhere else on the earth. Right. The Most High would go big. He would go all out for his people, right? Right. So you're saying Mr. H is about the size of New Jersey, and you look at the size of New Jersey compared to other states, right? I mean, if we are the people, you think he ain't going to go big and massive amounts of land, probably more land than we really could use. That's what he would do for his people. And you ain't gonna need no Balfour Declaration to get that land, ladies and gentlemen. When her time comes, we ain't gonna need no Balfour Declaration to get us there. And look, you got the Vatican just over a few days ago said they don't want them using the Bible to justify being in that land. The Vatican has come out and said that. The Vatican said don't use the Bible to justify being over in that land. And I haven't heard them go rogue on the Vatican. In fact, I haven't even heard when the Vatican said this, I haven't even heard the word anti-Semitic like we always do. We haven't heard that when it came down to those Catholic priests over there and the Pope and those bishops over there. We haven't heard that word kicked around at all. So I'm just saying, y'all, if you want to know what's going on, look outside of US media, and because the US just ain't gonna tell the truth. And I looked at more stories on Lolitha Hall, the woman that was gunned down by some crazed man in Ohio. Do you know they are trying to come up with all kinds of excuses for that man? Now they're saying he has dementia. Well, I don't fully believe that until we see medical evidence, because it is a known fact that y'all will throw mental illness in every single shooting that you do as a means of trying to get out of everything. That is a fact. Y'all been doing that now for several decades. Every time you get caught up in some shooting, then there's always some mental illness. Everybody with a gun killing black people all of a sudden got mental illness. And now he got dementia. Then if he got dementia, then how do we know anything that he said is even valid? Did anybody threaten him? I don't believe the way he was coming at that woman. No, I don't believe that was dementia. I really don't. I don't believe it was. But now the US media is trying to act as a defense attorney for the killer. That's what they're doing. That's what they always do when one of us are gunned down. The media in America all of a sudden becomes defense attorneys. So that's all I have to say on this subject matter, y'all. But thank you for coming. But be on the lookout. I'm going to try to set up another live stream because I want y'all to see what's happening in Europe post eclipse. Because something, there are some people that believe the weather patterns have changed on the planet since the eclipse. And it is strange because here where I am, this time last year, when I go and look up the forecast from 2023, we were in the upper 80s. This time last year, we were in the upper 80s. And today, we're 53 degrees. And I know we are getting a lot more rain and wind, and there is something that has changed, you know? But if you go back and look at 2023 weather, you're going to see a lot of 70 and 80-degree days this time last year. We are not even hitting those temperatures now. We're not hitting it. And even on the street I'm on, there's people with dead trees in their yards. And it's like, okay, something is going on. So I will post that and I will see you all later. Hopefully, you can all come back and see what I'm about to show you, because it is going to be eye raising for real. Shalom, family.